Iowa leaders also say the state has the money to improve the juvenile justice system. Complaints of inequities and a lack of resources became an issue during the recent sentencing of Pieper Lewis. Her attorney says Lewis didn't get the help that is offered to at-risk boys. WHO 13's Zach Fisher has the story.
During a sentencing trial for Pieper Lewis in the Polk County court system, her legal representation asked a witness for the state if she would have been treated differently by the state if she was a boy.
And that's because of her gender, right?
Yes.
So if you're a boy, age 15, the state of Iowa is going to treat you differently than the 15-year-old girl, right?
Agree.
And that's a function of her gender.
Now, what does that mean? How would Pieper be treated differently if she was a boy compared to her being a girl? Let's take a look. Pieper Lewis was awaiting sentencing last fall for the murder of a Des Moines man who she alleges raped her. Her attorney was asking for leniency in part because of a lack of resources and inequalities in the juvenile justice system. So what are those inequalities? The Iowa State Training School houses all the high-risk juvenile boys in the state, which is funded by the state. But its girl counterpart, the Iowa Juvenile Home in Toledo, was closed in 2014. It was the only state-funded facility available for girls. If open, Pieper would have been in this facility that was properly equipped to handle her specific needs, which include medical resources, counseling, trauma therapy, educational materials, and more. Since its closure, there's elevated pressure on juvenile court officials to assign this category of girls to proper facilities.
The juvenile court does everything they can. They do a great job of trying to look outside the box where to place these girls.
The Iowa Task Force for Young Women is made of state leaders who examine how the state's Department of Human Services can more efficiently provide resources for these girls, and they submit that report every year. In their most recent study in 2021, the task force found the state had 25 girls who qualified as high risk and would be in a state facility if one was open. These resources for these girls have been decreasing over the years, according to the task force.
I've seen the decline, I've seen the reduction, I've seen the elimination of services that are for girls. And so girls are hurting at every stage of the system. They're hurting at every touch point.
The issue is highlighted through the talking wall, a tool the Iowa Young Women's Task Force uses in their yearly report to show what these deep-end girls need equal access to.
We talk to them in small groups and ask them basic questions. And it's called the talking wall because there's a piece of easel paper on the wall and they have Post-its and they write on them and put them up on the wall.
These youth in the juvenile justice system say they need better tampons, not cardboard, programs to help single moms, teach puberty if you don't have a mom, who do you go to, consider hair care needs, clothes, a financial support system and therapy, support systems that are healthy and not enforced, and the list goes on and on.
So just because a service exists doesn't mean it works well for a girl. So it's not always that a service is not there, it's often that it's not female responsive.
So I went to the Polk County Juvenile Detention Center, which houses a lot of these deep-end juveniles. Pieper Lewis stayed here for 2 years to see what resources are offered here and what they need help with.
We also have a licensed psychiatrist that comes and talks to the kid for self-harm needs. We have medical services here, whatever we need. But again, we're not a treatment facility, so we have to stay in our lane on working with that type of situation.
The Polk County Juvenile Detention Center is one of the bigger facilities of its kind in the state. They have recreational facilities for the teens, educational materials, classrooms, and libraries. But Dan Larson knows that they still don't have all the services these girls require. And other facilities have the same problem in the state.
And if you were to call up any of the 9, I think now, detention directors in the state, I'm convinced that to a person, they would all tell you they are concerned about the amount of time girls are spending camped out in their facilities.
Part of the problem for the lack of services is the low number of these high-risk juvenile girls in the state. But the number of girls is slowly increasing along with their time of stay.
So it is an issue and it's not going away. it's gotten worse and worse since 2014 when Toledo closed.
There are a good percentage of girls that are staying there for longer than 6 months. I think it's about a third are staying there long, at least 6 months.
So what are some of the solutions detention center directors see and the task force?
There is a solution. We do need some type of a state training school, but even 20 beds in the facility, or in the state rather, would be needed. The funding's there. I know that the state does have that money.
At the Polk County Juvenile Detention Center, Zach Fisher, WHO 13 News.
Now, the Iowa Task Force made several recommendations for improvement in its 2021 report. They included alternatives to detention centers and reducing the amount of time girls spend in temporary facilities. The task force also wants to limit juvenile cases that are moved to adult court and to end the practice of sending girls to out-of-state facilities.